गुड मॉर्निंग स्टूडेंट्स। कैसे हैं आप सब लोग? आशा करती हूँ कि आप सब लोग बहुत अच्छे होंगे। सो टुडे विल बी स्टार्टिंग चैप्टर नंबर 2, द एल्व्स एंड द शू मेकर। सो एज वी ऑल नो हु इज अ शू मेकर। शू मेकर जो हमारे जूते बनाता है, द वन who makes different variety of shoes of different products. So we will be studying about this chapter, and let's read this chapter. The elves and the shoemakers. See, this is a chapter. The brothers Grimm, Jacob and Wilhelm, they were German academics. See, there are three brothers whose name is Grimm, Jacob and Wilhelm. They are three brothers and they are German academics, philologists and cultural researchers and authors who together collected and published this folklore. Okay, see, these three brothers, they are German academics. Who are academics? The one who studies about the content of the academics. Who are philologists? Philo means love and logist means one who studies. So one who loves the studies are known as philologists. Then comes the cultural researchers, the one who studies about, the one who do the research about the culture, about a specific culture. They are known as culture researchers. And authors, we all know, the one who writes various chapters, various poetries, literatures and all. They all together, इन्होंने मिलकर they publish this folklore. And the elves and the shoemaker is one of the sets, one of the renowned sets. That is one of the famous fairy tales which is collected by these three brothers. That is Grimm, about a poor shoemaker who receives much needed help from these three young helpful elves. See, this poem, this chapter, The Elves and the Shoemaker, is a set of famous fairy tale. ये क्या है? It is a set of famous fairy tale which is collected by this brother, that is Grimm. And this is a story about a very poor shoemaker who receives the help from these three young persons. ठीक है? Helpful elves. Now let's read the chapter. Once upon a time there lived a kind shoemaker and his wife. Once upon a time means एक बार की बात है जब एक बहुत ही ज्यादा kind shoemaker और उसकी wife रहते थे. He worked very hard and was very honest. वो बहुत ही ज्यादा मेहनती था. He was very hard working as well as he was very honest. He was very ईमानदार. Sadly, nobody bought his shoes anymore and he had become poor. Sadly, it's very demisely you can say that nobody bought his shoes. कोई भी उसके जो है shoes नहीं लिया करता था anymore and he became very poor. वो बहुत ही ज्यादा क्या बन गया? Poor बन गया. One evening he found all he had was a piece of leather. One day, what did he found? That there was just a piece of leather, and with that piece he could make just one pair of shoes. The leftover piece of leather with him, he made a pair of shoes. What did he made? He made a pair of shoes with that leftover piece of leather. As we all know, leather is a fabric that is very useful for making the belts, sometimes leather jackets, sometimes shoes, and sometimes there are आप कह सकते हैं there are basically the very famous leather jackets that are used in winters. Okay, so to comfort him, his wife said, to comfort him means to calm down him. Here comfort doesn't means to make him comfortable. Here is to making him mentally peace. उनको उनके दिमाग को शांत करने के लिए his wife. Why it is written his over here? Because this is shoes. This shoemakers की wife के बारे में बात करें. That is why his is present over here. So don't worry too much. Her wife is saying, don't worry, इतना ज़्यादा चिंता मत करिए. Everything will be soon. Everything will soon will be all right. बहुत जल्दी सब कुछ बहुत ठीक हो जाएगा. Keep the piece on the table. You just keep this piece, that is the piece of leather, on the table. सिर्फ table के, this is a table and you have to keep the piece over here. That is why it is written over here. Okay. You can stitch the shoes tomorrow. आप एक काम कर सकते हैं कि you can stitch the shoes tomorrow. Tomorrow means आने वाला कल. Let's go to bed now. अब आप इस वक्त you just take the rest now. He cut out the leather for making the shoes and went to sleep. He just cut the piece of leather and he went to bed and he went to sleep. However, these three little elves, they were peeking from outside their window and they heard them talking. These three elves, these three kind persons, they are peeking from the window, from outside their window. Peeking means they are looking outside the window and they heard the talk between his wife and the shoemaker. And what they said, they felt sorry for the kind man and they were very much sorry. They were very much disheartened for this man. We must help the poor shoemaker, they decided. Who they decided? These three elves, they decided to help this shoemaker, right? The talented elves fluttered into the house through the window. Fluttered into the house means they entered the house not through a direct way. They entered the house through the indirect way, through a channel, or you can say a passage, जो कि क्या है, विंडो. जिससे कभी कभी विंडो से वो लोग अंदर आ गए. They took the leather piece and soon began cutting, sewing, and decorating it. And the leather piece which was cut by the shoemaker, this piece of leather was taken by these three persons, three elves, and they basically what they did, they cut. Swing means silna, and decorating means usko adorn karna, sajana. And before morning they made the most beautiful pair of shoes in the world and flew away. और इन्होंने बहुत ही सुंदर, दे बहुत ही आकर्षक, you can say very attractive pair of shoes they made and they just went away. और वो क्या करने लगे, वो चले गए. In the morning, the shoemaker and his wife, they were amazed. They were very much surprised to see this little pretty shoes that are lying on the table. जो टेबल के ऊपर बहुत ही सुंदर shoes बने हुए थे, which were made by that piece of leather that was earlier cut by the shoemaker. And they saw that these three elves, they were amazed. This shoemaker was amazed to see such a beautiful pair of shoes which were made by elves. Who made these lovely pairs of shoes? They said in surprise. They were astonished, they were surprised, and they were amazed. These three words, they are synonym to each other. That is astonished, amazed, and surprised. They were surprised to see this lovely pair of shoes and they were asking, who made this? The shoemaker was very surprised. Shoemaker, that kind person, he was very much surprised and he was more amazed at the quality of the shoes. और shoes की quality देखकर तो वो बहुत ही ज़्यादा, he was incredibly surprised to see that who made this. Soon a merchant saw the shoes in the shop window, and soon one merchant. Earlier also I told you, merchant is a person who sells, or you can say who buys the products in a very large quantities. So merchant, he saw the shoes in the shop window and he liked the shoes so much that he paid a price higher than the usual for them. This pair of shoes which were made by these three elves, it was saw by this merchant who was just passing through the window, and he liked this shoes so much that he paid a price which is higher than usual for them. See, over here it's than. Than means there is a comparison. That is why in than there is a present over here. Otherwise, if we have talking about then, अब क्या होगा? Then instead of this a we have used e. Okay. So he paid a price जो कि जितना shoes का price उसको actually मिला करता था, उससे ज़्यादा price उसको उस shoes का मिल गया था. And the shoemaker happily bought leather to make 2 more pairs. And the shoemaker, he happily brought one more piece of leather to make 2 more pairs. 2 more pair means there are 2 pairs of shoes he will be going to make, and in the evening he cut out the leather and went to the bed early. And again he just cut out the leather and again he went to his bed. Again he went to sleep. And when he woke up in the morning, he found 2 pair of shoes ready on his table. Again he was so much surprised that when he woke up, जब वो उठा, उसने again देखा कि उस कटे हुए leather के साथ, that is the leather which he cut the last night, he saw that 2 pair of shoes in the evening as the same design that were made earlier. Soon the buyers came in and bought the shoes. फिर से buyers आए and again they bought the shoes, and with the money he again bought the leather, and similar process takes place thrice. See, he is taking the money and he is bringing the same piece of leather and he again cut it out and again went to sleep and found his work done in the morning. And till now this shoemaker didn't knew that these shoes, these beautiful pair of shoes, they were made by these three elves. So one evening the shoemaker said to his wife, उसने अपनी wife से बोला, let's stay awake tonight and see who it is that makes the shoes. What the shoemaker is saying to his wife, then let's not sleep today in the night, we will be waking up and we will be seeing that who is making such beautiful pairs of shoes. We must thank them for their kindness. और हम क्या करें, we must be grateful to that, to those persons who have helped us in making these so beautiful pairs of shoes. So that night they hid themselves in a corner of the room and waited. और उस रात both the shoemaker and his wife, they hid themselves in the corner and they were just waiting for them. Who is making such beautiful pairs? Now let's see. As soon as it was midnight, they saw the window open and three little elves, they flying, laughing and singing. One night, this both shoemaker and his wife, they saw that there are three elves. These three elves, they are basically talking with each other, they are laughing and they are singing. The elves took up the leather, took up all the leather which was brought up by this shoemaker and then cut out, and then he began to work. और काम करना क्या कर दिया? Start कर दिया. The shoes were ready before the sun rose. See, this is the past form of rise. Rise का past form है rose. And the elves then keep the shoes on the table and left as quietly as they came. जैसे ही the elves then kept the shoes, उन्होंने shoes को टेबल के ऊपर रखा and left as quietly, बहुत ही शांतली दबे पांव, they just went out their place. The next day the wife said to the shoemaker that these little elves, they made us rich. The wife is telling his husband, that is the shoemaker, that these three elves, they make us rich. How they make us rich? By making such beautiful pair of shoes, and I will make some clothes for them to show that how thankful I am to them. What his wife is saying, that I'll make beautiful clothes for these three elves to make them feel that how much grateful we are to them, that they made us so rich by making such beautiful pair of shoes. I will make tiny pair of shoes for them, said the shoemaker. Shoemaker, what did they say? What did he said? That I will make shoes for them. His wife said that I'll make beautiful clothes for the elves, for these three elves. One evening, when the gifts were ready, they laid them on the table. One evening, when both husband and wife, they completed the task, one makes the little shoes for these three elves, and the wife, she makes the beautiful clothes for these three elves, and they just wrapped in a packet and put it like a gift hamper and put it on the table. What happened then? They again hid themselves to watch what the little elves would do, and they again, next night, they again hid themselves. Who are themselves over here? Themselves is the wife and his husband. See, this themselves, this is possessive noun. This is something possessiveness. Hamara, himself, themselves, ourselves, these all are possessive nouns. And at midnight, these elves, they entered the room, and when they saw the presents, and they became very delighted. And one day, one night, when they entered again from their window to make such beautiful pairs, they saw that they saw these beautiful gifts, and they were highly delighted. Delighted means they were very much happy. They happily wore the clothes and the shoes and danced around the room. They were very happy. So they wore the shoes, wear ka wore. This is the past tense. Wear ka wore, and they wear the shoes and the clothes, and they were very much happy about this presents. And the good couple saw them no more after that night. और उस रात के बाद उन्होंने उन्हें कभी दोबारा नहीं देखा. किन्हें? These three elves. but everything went well with them as long as they lived. जब तक वो रह रहे थे, everything was going in a very smooth way. It was going in a very calmly way, and the shoemaker and his wife never forget the kind elves who had helped them at the time of their need. These both husband and wife, they never forget that what did these three elves did to them, what kind of a help they did at the time of need. At the time of need means when they were in actual need, जब उन्हें बहुत ज्यादा जरूरत थी. And at that time, this husband and wife, they never forget how these three elves they helped them. See, through this story, what we have learned to be kind to others. If we are kind to others, then automatically the help will be given to us by God. So, being a good classmate and being a good citizen, we should help each other, help our members, family members, help our moms in everyday tasks, and we have to study honestly and keep hard working each day, so that it will we all will develop a good personality and will become successful. Thank you.